Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Jeff Zarnick, better known to many as Dr. C, and I'm your Associate Dean of Criminal Justice and the Social Sciences. And we are all very privileged, blessed, fortunate, and lucky to have Ms. Beverly Timms with us today. She is a very accomplished learner and professional who's recently retired. Her resume is absolutely astounding. But what's most important is that she had been recognized by one of our really good instructors for her efforts as a student and how she really modeled student performance and how she really, set the table. We always love teachers like myself, love working with and for students like Beverly because she does set really good standards that the other students can look at and raise their own particular bar to be just like her. And this is really, really important. It's best that our students hear from people, accomplished people such as Beverly, who's done so much through perseverance and hard work. So I just have a few questions for her today that's to benefit those students, the hundreds of students that have I should say thousands of students that have the opportunity to hear from one of our own, a colleague, a peer, a friend, and a real asset to the Southern New Hampshire University College of Online and Continuing Education community. Beverly, thank you for taking the time to do this today. And with that said, Beverly, I know just by reading some of the information on LinkedIn that you're on, that you are one smart person, but you're also one busy person, and you went back to school. How, in general terms, did you approach each course?
Well, I can say that my best
assignment. What's your secret to success?
Piece of information that I can share regarding that is that I practice good moral values, I take responsibility, and I have ethical behaviors which allows me to make good decisions. And I know that my actions and all of that will make a difference. And this past term or all of the terms this year, I've managed to maintain my 3.75 grade point average.
So you come to the table with basically some well-honed, let's just say assets or strategies, character, and dedication. You mentioned dedication. Beverly, if you were to advise a student on how do you best become dedicated? What does that mean?
Well, first of all, they want to focus on what they want to do. For me, I found out that I needed to always be kind and find time to always do the right thing. And for me, it was wanting to do my best and be my best at whatever I set out to do. Many, many years ago, we're talking in the 1970s. I started out as a young mother and married. Began my family at that time. And I knew that I wanted to continue my education, and I just didn't want to stop at that. And at that time, I realized that I had a goal and that I was going to do all that I could to keep going, although I was discouraged many times. And my parents, my grandparents, my little boys at the time, they were my biggest cheerleaders. Yes. And they did all they could to help me to focus on my family values and maintaining my dignity and integrity, no matter what the other people thought about me, being a young mother at my age. Yes.
Outstanding. So to be focused, you had a very, very good support system. I know that there might have been many times when you had to tell them, look, mom can't be here right now. You may have to go take care of dinner. And you got them to buy into your education. So how did you approach that time with your family where you said, Mom, whatever.
For one thing, 46 years later,
how do you get them to understand?
I'm still with the same husband who's been my biggest cheerleader, as I mentioned, and my support system. And he's always told me that no matter what, I need to keep going. I need to stay positive. I need to work hard, make no excuses, and I need to make it happen. Whatever that happens needs to be. I need to make it happen. So I believed in what he said, and I've managed to make a personal mission statement for myself. And that mission statement is that I'm empowered to encourage others through their circumstances with my time, my words, and my opportunity. I believe it's the biggest little thing that I can do to make a difference in someone giving up or going on, because you never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. And with the children and schoolwork and work and volunteerism and others, I know that I will be able to make a difference in someone else's life in sharing my gift of encouragement. That's how I do it. That's my gift.
Outstanding. You know, of all the How I Succeeded webinars I've done with students, none of them have ever said that they crafted a personal mission statement at all, much less one that you just had, that you have, that is incredibly poignant. I mean, I'm absolutely amazed. I applaud that. That is phenomenal. And I would really encourage students that are listening to this to do the same, do likewise.
Well, in addition to my personal mission statement,
can you send that to me?
The reason for that is I believe that it supports my role as a leader, to lead by example, and to encourage others to follow in compliance in setting high standards for themselves as individuals. And again, keep going, work hard, be positive, stay focused.
This is more than motivational, it's inspirational, Beverly. This is outstanding. So here you are in the weeds each week as it comes up. It's Sunday night. You've got a full week ahead of you. What did you do to succeed?
Well, Monday, each week in my short time at SNHU,
how did you manage?
I found that the website is filled with all types of notes, publications, the ebooks, the research databases, there was something else, electronic journals. A lot of that I wasn't familiar with prior to entering SNHU. I also find that the academic advisors are very helpful.
Right.
And in preparing for the week, I focus on that.
Okay. Okay. Wow. So the entire support system, but you accessed all the things here that can help everybody.
Well, a lot of it,
did you find that to be time-consuming, or did it actually help
that there were resources available. But when I came across something that I wasn't familiar with, those resources I found to be very helpful in helping me to achieve the goal that I set out to do.
Okay. Outstanding. So let me ask you this: for each week, did you utilize a calendar? In addition to the goals that you already had, the big and the small, do you use any particular assets like a calendar?
As a matter of fact, I'm highly motivated, and I'm self-taught in many aspects of my learning and discipline. So I do use a lot of time management skills. I plan ahead. I use a daily calendar to organize all of my tasks and to-do items so that I can maintain my work-life balance. Because as I stated, you've got work, you've got life, you've got others, my volunteerism. So yes, I managed to do all of that. And again, I enjoy an
Yeah.
occasional chocolate bar and my favorite cup of coffee,
Yeah.
and that keeps me going. Not to mention my daily word of encouragement.
That's a good point that you make. That is a great point. Basically, you're able to maintain
Exactly.
a good life balance and also have some time for yourself to enjoy those little things that do help you. So it's not always 7 days a week. You got to plan that
There
leisure
you go.
time for yourself, even if it's just sitting there on the chair and having some of that chocolate, which I am firmly addicted to, by the way. So anyway, so when we have an open access environment, so we have a lot of different students at a variety of different stages of learning. And by and large, you are a very self-directed, independent learner. What advice would you give to a student that hasn't been in school in a long time? And the last time they were there, they were told where to sit, what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. But now, as you know, in the online environment, you have to work independently. What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's not used to working independently? What kind of
Well,
strategies
I believe
would you
earlier I
recommend?
stated, and again, this would be, again, my best piece of advice is to practice good moral values and to be responsible, knowing that your
Okay.
goal is within reach.
Okay.
And again, practice ethical behavior. If you
Mm-hmm.
know that you've got an assignment due, you've got work to be done, you've made commitments, let's stick to it. Again, focus, work hard, and let's get it done.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good. So it really is up to the individual student to take advantage, not just of those external assets you mentioned, but internally. You have a strong moral fabric, a fiber, a code, and you live by that. And thus
They
far,
have been.
you
And again, as
unequivocally, you can
CJ
say,
professionals, criminal
adherence
justice
to that has
professionals,
definitively
we're
paid off
held
for
to
you now,
higher
right?
standards and we're in a position to make the public feel safe. And with me being a
Hmm.
past human resources
Yes.
professional, the employees and the public, they look up to us. So again, you want to practice good ethical behaviors. And
Hmm.
that would be another piece of advice I'd like to share.
Hmm.
Staying on track,
Good ethical behaviors, basically
always
staying
doing the
on
right
track
thing even when no one
and
is looking.
focusing on doing the right and stay and doing the right thing because it always pays off. That's outstanding.
Yes.
That's better than great advice. Those are words to live by, Beverly. I mean, well, really, they are words to live by as opposed to just some sort of, one-off piece of advice. They're words to live by. Something a code you mentioned. I think that's just beyond outstanding. And adapting that, into a student's regimen is extremely important.
Let's
So,
see.
what are your future
Future
goals
goals.
now that you've
I am a
done all
recent
these
retiree,
things?
as I stated. I am pursuing my bachelor's degree in criminal justice with the concentration in legal studies and advocacy.
Congratulations.
So it'll be the class of 2018. That will afford me an
Yes.
opportunity to work as a paralegal or a
Okay.
mediator with alternative dispute
Nice.
resolution. So I look to be an independent criminal justice professional in some aspects
Okay.
within the Tarrant County District Attorney's
Right.
Office. Thank you.
Outstanding. Outstanding. So it never stops for Miss Beverly Timms, everyone. She keeps the wheels and her passion and the fire burning consistently all the time. And as you can hear, as tough as it may be at times, she dug deep. She stayed true to herself and true to her goals and her commitment. Some of the key words I hope that you take away from this are those key terms, the phrases that she brought to the table, and that incredible mission statement that she truly, truly lived by. One thing I heard, Beverly, you really live your life to the fullest. And I think that if for nothing else, students who listen to this, if they take anything away, is that they really, that you really live for yourself, and it does nothing. It helps other people so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And
so I'm at a loss for words. Beverly, I want to thank you so much for your time. Do you have any last words of wisdom for the people who will be listening to this?
I hope that my story will encourage everyone that will be listening. And please feel free to reach out to me as we all strive to reach our educational and career goals. And I'm reminded how important continuing your education really is. I stopped, pursued personal interests with family. 30 years later, I picked it back up. I now hold 2 undergraduate degrees. I am pursuing this bachelor's. I have recently retired. I have a loving family, loving church family, and a great support system. So don't take it for granted, and just know that your best years are ahead of you. Make every day count.
Words to live by, everybody. Beverly, thank you once again for taking the time to do this. And everyone, stay tuned for this great recording.
You're so
Beverly,
very
I'll be sending you a copy out as well. Thanks very much for everything you've done, and much luck